7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, 10.
Hello, back with CornerSpeak 360, and then we're going to take a look at what I have in my inbox today, coming on WhatsApp, and also we're going to take a look at a video I think you'll find fairly interesting. So to begin with, yes, start off with a little bit of a freestyle. Here we go. Freestyle to warm into the event. So I'm going to show you my first clip which someone sent to me today in WhatsApp. They entitled this one a Chinese version of a taser. Yes, get it. Yes, quite brutal. You definitely got to feel the community spirit. So with no delay, we'll follow on with this video I saw today from the black conservative perspective. He's somebody who does some very good stories, and I like to check out his point of view from time to time. It's featuring these two ladies who are on the WtsAp show, and they have been making a fairly good living, particularly in this current climate where this particular grift is quite popular, inviting middle-class ladies to dinner, $5,000 a piece, and yes, say, taking them through a fairly painful sounding process of re-education. I'll let you get your own point of view and perspective. Yes, go.
Many of you would trade places with a black person in this society? Raise your hand.
I don't know the answer to that.
Well, it's yes or no. How many of you would do it?
I know I wouldn't.
I mean, I dated a Hispanic, very dark.
No, I'm not talking about.
So just to clarify here, they invite these women who pay a good price to be re-educated, to have a nice, fancy slap-up dinner, and throughout the proceedings, they proceed to re-educate them on how racist they are, unbeknownst to some of them. So, well, see what you think about it.
Hispanic. The question is,
But I was going to have children, so I spent many years thinking of myself of having very dark-skinned children.
question is, how many of you would be willing to trade places in this society with a black person?
I think I would.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay.
I'm not saying there's not racism. Absolutely not. It's just saying I don't see it.
Yeah, but you know how
Not-
racist this country
Not
is.
to the degree that you do.
Oh,
to
no,
be
you
frank
will
with you.
never know. You know, in this country, we created the criminalization of black people. And when your skin is seen as a weapon, you're never unarmed. And that's why black boys and men and women are dying in the street with their hands up.
All right, guys. So this conversation that I stumbled upon on Dr. Phil may be one of the wildest conversations I've ever heard in my life, because these two race hustlers right here are legendary. Okay, this black woman right here and this Indian woman, I believe. Again, these are the greatest race hustlers of all time. Okay, and the reason why these two people are successful at what they do, unfortunately, is because we have a brainwashed demographic in our country that are obsessed with racism, right? And I don't mean black people, okay? No. What I actually really mean is liberal white women who are obsessed with racism. Or let me be more specific here. They're obsessed with not being called racist, right? That's what they're obsessed with, okay? And they will degrade themselves to the lowest of the low in order to not be called a racist. They will go along with an agenda that clearly is against their best interests as white women, okay? Simply because they don't want to be called racist. It's a truly fascinating thing to witness, okay? Because on this Dr. Phil show, again, like I told you, they have these two legendary race hustlers here. This woman, whose name is Regina Jackson, and this other woman right here, her name is Saria Rowe. And again, these two women have created probably the greatest race hustle that I've ever seen in my life, right? As they have created a show called Race to Dinner, in which they have guilty white women come to...
Trust me, these ladies might have their own unique approach to this re-education method, but this is something that's quite popular, not only in the States, I do believe in the UK as well, where corporations are bringing in, I think they're called equity and diversity specialists, to re-educate the employees and let people know where they've been systemically going wrong for all of these decades and centuries, as the case might be. But anyway, these ladies are specialists at what they do. They found their niche, as you'll see.
A table and basically get told why they're racist, right? Again, they come to the table saying, I'm not a racist, and then these two hucksters, they tell them, no, actually you are racist, right? And this is why you're racist, and they pay for that. These liberal white women get paid to be told that they're racist, right? Or to be told why they're racist. But what they don't understand is that no matter what they say, no matter what they do, they're always going to be called racist because that's the grift, right? To make you feel guilty about being a racist so that you pay them to tell you why you're racist and how you can't be racist, but you can never not be racist because you're white, right? According to them. Even if you're a white woman who likes to get piped down with non-white DNA, you're still racist, right? You're still racist, and no matter how much non-white pipe you take, you can never not be racist, according to these people on a shirt that is being sold on their website that reads like a nonprofit, okay? They have a community fund for guilty white Karens that want to donate. Otherwise, you need to pay $5,000, $5,000, or up to $5,000 to sit down with these clowns and to be told that you're racist, right? Again, it's it's incredible.
Our story is Syra ran for Congress back in 2018 against a long-term Democratic congresswoman in Colorado. Her whole platform was anti-racism. So every time Syra would speak, white women...
And shout out to Dr. Phil as well. He gets the right people on the shows. He lets them talk their talk, and then when he's ready,
would line up to talk to her, and what they wanted to say is, not me. I'm not racist.
Now, again, if you guys are familiar with anti-racist ideology, aka anti-white ideology, basically it's just the ideology of if you're not actively being anti-racist, aka being racist against white, then you are a racist, right? Basically, what they do is that they try to guilt trip white people who are in the middle, right? White people who are like, you know what, I'm not really concerned about racism. I'm not going to go out of my way to be racist to anybody, but I'm also not going to go out of my way to make sure I'm not being racist, right? So anti-racism tries to guilt trip those whites into basically joining the side of actively being racist against their own people, right? Actively being racist against whites and worshiping at the woke altar, right? That is what it tries to do, okay? By guilt tripping them into thinking that, no, it is racist to not care about this issue, right? It's racist to not always think about race, okay? That is what...
So the video goes on for quite a while, so I'm going to fast forward it a little bit, and then you'll be able to, tie the two ends together.
It does, okay? So, okay, I talk about overt racism, right? Like, the people who are supposed to be fighting against racism should be against this type of overt racism towards a group of people. But, for me personally, I'm neutral on it, okay?
You have to think about it. What's good for one, is it good for the other? I mean, I don't want to use the word hypocrisy, but we're living in an era where things are very interesting, should we say.
If they want to openly be able to say stuff like this, fine. But white people or any other group of people should be able to openly say stuff like this about so-called people of color. Good for right? Like, again, you can either have all of it or you can have none of it. Again, if you want to go on national TV and say this and make a business out of this, fine. I think it's stupid, but fine. But again, other people should be allowed to do the same thing. And you shouldn't be sitting here boo-hoo whining, crying about it, claiming racism. When, again, you are out here saying some of the exact same stuff. You're stereotyping white women, okay? And you're trying to make them out to be low-key dangerous. That's really what they're doing. It's incredible.
And so...
She's laughing, too. She think it's funny. Yeah, that's exactly how we white women act, right?
Posted about it on Facebook. It went viral. And Regina and I thought to ourselves, we're educating white women for free. We might as well get paid, which, my God, you would think that we've asked people to give us their kidneys, that we're paying for this, asking people to pay for this work. But that's what started. It was February of 2019.
Wow. Capitalism is crazy, right? Capitalism is a double-edged sword. It really is. It really is. It is crazy. There's a market for this. There's a market for liberal white women that want to be told that they're racist, right? It's amazing.
And what did you expect at these dinners compared to what you got?
It's basically exactly what we expect is what we get. We've done a ton of them by now. We've done a ton.
So you expected to have a bunch of white women in denial, saying, no, 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 not me. And that's what you got.
Yeah, they have basically the 3 Ds: deny, deflect, defend.
Oh my God. Deny, deflect, defend. AKA, no matter what you say,
You're wrong.
You're a racist. Okay? And this is why I don't understand how this is a thing. Like, how are these people not figure out, okay, what is the incentive structure here? If you could actually teach liberal white women not to be racist, then this business model doesn't work, right? It doesn't work. Or put it this way, it only works for a limited amount of time. But if white women can never not be racist, right, then it works forever. Again, and that's the secret here, right? That's the secret. That's what these people know. They stumbled across an income stream into perpetuity, right? This is a cash flow into perpetuity.
You lie, and there's
because
definitely a lie.
That is how brainwashed liberal white women are in this country. Amazing.
So we see that all the time. There's no change. Some women are.
There's no change, right? What I tell you, there's no change. Okay, don't matter if you come to the dinner. Doesn't matter if you go through. No change. No change.
Ready to do the work, but pretty much when they come to the dinners, it's not me. I'm not racist.
So you commented on Ambrosia and essentially mocked her crying.
Yeah.
No, I didn't mock her.
Yeah.
I just pointed out that she cried.
But what's wrong
No,
with
actually, you didn't. You actually kind of mocked her. You said, you mentioned crying as she did, which is pretty mocking.
That's your interpretation.
It is.
Yeah. Yo, Dr. Phil, that guy, bro. Dr. Phil is that guy.
Dr. Phil, the only rule we have at dinner is that you cannot cry.
You have to go in the other room.
You have to, and we all know why. Because white women tears, it shifts the whole conversation from what you're trying to engage into. Oh, poor so-and-so, ain't it awful? They made her feel bad.
Well, isn't that everybody's tears? See, that's the thing about this conversation that's so wild to me. Because we just finished talking about the city bike Karen story, okay?
That city bike story it ran for a couple of weeks, quite controversial, and it was built on some very basic human interactions. 2 groups of people had some kind of a misunderstanding, and the media grabbed it, ran with it, and blew it up into some, racist scandal of the year or something. And, well, what can you say?
That went on forever. But the reason why these people are so obsessed with this story is because of white women tears. And apparently white women tears are supposed to be special tears that are, I don't know, more cherished than all other tears in society, right? In fact, these tears are dangerous, okay, according to the race hustlers on the left. So much so that when white women cry, it's a big deal. Like, it's a big deal when white women cry.
So we've been told.
And for the life of me, I don't understand where they're getting this from, right? Where are they getting this from? Because the woke revolutionaries want to pretend like the city bike Karen was getting the black scholars, was getting them in trouble or potentially having their lives.
I mean, at some point, that story's going to conclude. It went from a civil dispute. Now it involves defamation and a lawsuit and some other aspects. So I'll probably land and cover that story at some point when it's, pretty much come to a resolution.
I was being in danger because she started crying. When there's never been a time in history in which a white woman starts crying or crying for help around a black man, and all of a sudden the police come out of nowhere and just shoot the black dude dead. That never happens. Like there's never been a black person that's been hurt because a white woman cried in public, and out of nowhere the black man was hurt, right? He was assaulted. Something happened to him because a white woman cried. That never happens. But for whatever reason, they want us to think that that actually happens when it doesn't. And that somehow, some way, white women are extra dangerous, especially.
some of these stories take huge leaps of the imagination to buy into, and yet still they're brought to us as though, they're everyday facts. And, well, that's the times we're living in.
Especially when they weaponize their tears. I'm not sure where this comes from. I really don't. I don't understand.
Yeah.
And I want to mention, too, they always keep bringing up Emmett Till. And I'm like, that's not what happened, right? There were no white woman tears in the Emmett Till story, okay? What are you talking about? And it's just amazing how they have to go back and reference something that happened in the 1950s because they have so little examples of this scenario actually happening in the real world that, again, they have to go back to a story that's in the 1950s that don't even really involve what they call white tears, right? Again, it's amazing.
Which I interpreted as your point. There it is. That was your point, right?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, there's a teardrop on our book cover.
Yeah. So what was y'all's reaction to what Ambrosia had to say and how she said it?
Here's what I would say. We've had over 1 million Americans die from COVID, over 1 million. And largely at the beginning of this, it was people of color. It wasn't white people, it was black people. When you go into a convenience store, now this is just me, I'm gonna respect somebody's rules, somebody's policies. If they ask me to wear a mask, I'm gonna wear a mask. That's just me.
Yeah, well, that's just you, and that was just her. Mm-hmm. That's an individual choice. I'm
but
same
they
way.
were largely black people. Do you understand what I'm saying? Who were being largely impacted more by COVID than white people.
Yeah, but what's your point, right? What is the point of bringing that up? Because there's numerous explanations for why that could be. I mean, if you listen to the liberal explanation, maybe, just maybe, black people who were more hesitant to take the vaccine than whites, maybe that can be a reason why. Again, that's not necessarily an endorsement of the vaccine as much as I'm just saying that could be an explanation which would come from the left, right? It would come from your side of the aisle in regards to why that is. But just because there's a disparity doesn't necessarily mean that there's a problem. Doesn't mean that that's actually racist, right? Doesn't mean that it is happening because of racism. Again, it's amazing.
Yeah, but it wasn't required, and they ask you to step outside.
Yes.
And that is a private business. Yes. Even though it sounds official because it's UPS, it is a private business, and they have a right to serve you or not serve you. Do you have a story or a question for me?
Yeah. Yes. So again, that was just amazing. I can't believe that a business like this exists. But again, this is woke capitalism here. I guess there's a large demand for telling white women that they're racist, right?
So you're gonna see us here again sometime soon with some more stories and a quick look around what's coming on the WhatsApp inbox. Be good, be strong, and be creative. CornerSpeak 360, we out.